Welcome. Just going to record a flight tonight in the Kodiak 100 from SimWorks Studio. This is a paid-for aircraft. So look, we're parked up in New Zealand at a little regional airport, Woodburn, and that is NZWB, and we're just going to fly over into the capital, or Wellington, tonight. Now we have a northerly wind coming into Wellington, so we are going to do an ILS approach into Wellington coming in from the south, so that'll be runway 340. So I'll do all my cold and dark start. We'll load the flight plan into the Kodiak. We'll add that approach, and yeah, so quite a quick hop. So what I'm going to do is use SimBrief tonight just to get us there. So SimBrief is free. It's just a web-based flight planning software. And so what we're going to do is come over to the left here and create a new flight. What I might do is just start my pointer so you can actually probably see a little bit better. Alright, so really it looks complicated, but it's not. It's just saying, hey, what's red here? We need some information. Okay, so what you can do is we can come in and put our departure airport, which would be Woodburn, and we're going to fly into Wellington. Alright, now the aircraft that I'm flying with tonight is the Kodiak, which I should have it in my aircraft that's available. So my Kodiak is here. If your aircraft's not in here, you just come down and drop down until you find your aircraft. So it's the aircraft there. And look, you can put your airline in, your code, or your flight number. If you don't have to have these. Alternate airport tonight, I'm not having one. Look, I'm going to look. SimBrief will pick the altitude, but look, I know where I am, so I'm happy tonight just to go to 5,000 feet. All right. We'll leave all that alone, and it's giving me a route here. All right. Which looks alright, because I actually need to come south to get into Wellington. It's 47 nautical. So what we're going to do, once we pull this flight plan into the G1000, we'll just have to put the approaches in. Alright, so you've got a couple other choices here. You can choose if you want to, but I'm happy with this one that's just made. So all we have to do now is come up and to generate the flight. So right at the top here, hit generate flight. Takes a couple of seconds. And that's it. So it gives us a bit more information here. You can come down to briefing preview and just open that up, and it shows a little bit more information. Our block fuel, which we could change in the aircraft, but I'm not going to. But yeah, so, and we should have 5,000 in our flight. That's flight level. All right. And this is in kilograms. And there's our route. All right, so that's really all we have to do. Let's just put that to the side here. Let's hop into the aircraft. And look, this is how I fly this aircraft. So I'm trying to turn my fuel on to the left and the right one. The little firewall shut off, I want to push that in so I do have fuel available when I need it. I'm going to hit the pedestal to clear that. Make sure my brake is on, so in is off, out is on. And let's turn our master on. Control 2, Control 1. Look, I can probably put some lighting on this, so let's just whack some lights on. Just a little bit of lighting so we can see. Alright, so we go to Control 6, gets us over to our Garmin. And you can see the NXI. And I think I said before, you can get the update from the Microsoft Flight Store. Just update this, it's a free update from the store, and you can hit enter or hit the soft key down here just to start the Garmin, and we can zoom in with the range tool and zoom out. So here we are, we're parked up here in Woodburn. So yeah, we'll just taxi down here, come down and take off towards Wellington. Alright, to get the flight plan up, all we have to do is come down to the big knob on the FMS knob and just scroll up, and then we've got map, which we don't want map, we want flight plan. So we just scroll up and keep scrolling with the big wheel till you get to flight plan, and then we need to roll down to flight plan catalog. Alright, so we're on active flight plan, which there's none. Only stays up for about 3 seconds, which is a pain. And just use the the small wheel to scroll down to flight plan catalog, and now that will pull in all my flight plans that are in SimBrief. Now you can't delete flight plans from inside here, you've got to go to SimBrief and delete them. So we want number 1, that's the one we've just done. So with my right mouse button on the small dial, just right click, that will just put a flashing blue line on it. Now we need to activate it, so come all the way down to the bottom and you can see activate, click activate, and activate SimBrief flight plan. Yep, so once I hit enter, this will pull that flight plan from the server in SimBrief, and there it is. So it's a pretty small flight plan, there's no problems there. Now you can hit the V for Victor key, and that will get a kind of a map that's a little bit better. You can't move this range, click left and right and move, but this, I find this is just a little bit faster. You can zoom in with your mouse. So yeah, that's our basic flight plan there. Now I just need my procedure into Wellington, so let's go to the prop key over here, and we need to select that approach, so just hit enter, and we have all our approach is here. So I said I'm going to use the ILS into runway 34, which is correct. It's currently showing 16, which I don't want. So just roll the big dial to 34, which is correct. And my transition, if I remember rightly, will be a mugger. So we're going to hit enter, and we want a mugger here. So it's going to scroll down with the small one, hit enter. Minimums, let's bring up my chart, so my ILS chart into Wellington runway 34, and then I'll put a link to this chart in the description below if you want to have you fly this flight plan. So what I want, we can do this one, so it'll be 300 feet. Okay, there's no problems. So when you get down to 3,000, which the navigation system will get us down to 3,000, and the localizer into this airport for the SILF approach is 109.9, but it will put that into our navigation system. I'll show you in a minute. Alright, so let's go back and put Barrow, put that across, and we'll throw in 300 feet. Hit enter, and we can use the big dial now to scroll all the way down to the bottom to load this in. So just scroll down on that big dial to load and hit enter. Not approved for GPS, yep. I'm going to hit enter, and we are good to go. So hit the V key again, and we should hopefully see that approach is in there. Now I'm just thinking, because this is a little regional airport, it probably hasn't got too much love. I think there is a couple of SIDs out of this airport. If we go to procedure, select departure, and there's none. Alright, I know there's some, but obviously, yeah, it's, hopefully it'll get updated one day. Let's click off flight plan. So I've got a bit of weather around, as you can see. Alright, so We'll come back to this active VNAV profile a bit later. It'll tell us our top of descent a bit later on. And 1099, yeah, we can see 1099 is here. We'll just need to put that across to the right side, which is the active side, not the blue blocks. So we'll change that a bit later. Yeah, you can hit the big right click, the small dial, and you can actually scroll down and just keep scrolling. So you can kind of see your flight plan. So 2,000 feet at Amunga. That's all good. So I'm just going to hit flight plan again. Control 1. Why don't we turn our beacon on? Our navs can go on. Heat on. And why don't we turn our buses on? So the Avionics and auxiliary bus. And why don't we start this aircraft? So let's put the fuel pump on. Ignition can go on. This is the first start of this aircraft, so I'm going to go low motor. Come back. Go to control 2, so I can just see everything on my gauges. Looking good, so I'm going to increase my fuel conditioner lever to low idle. Just a little touch on my controller. And I'm happy now. I'm going to push my RPM just full. Looking good. Go back to control 1. I'll turn this noisy fuel pump off. Ignition can go off. And starter can go off. And turn your generator. And the alternator can go on. Alright, so we can put a stage of flat down now, and I might just trim this aircraft just down, just there. Now my altitude, what did I say, 5,000 feet, so I'm just going to scroll the alt select to 5,000, and I can see that going up on my primary flight display just here. We're at 27. Keep going, and 5,000 will do. I'm on localizer. I don't want localizer. I want to come down to my CDI button here and just click that twice to get GPS, which I want to fly. Now I'm going to hit the B key to get my correct barrow, so B, and that's correct. So 29.92 inches of mercury would be correct at this airport. Alright, I can turn my taxi lights on. Now I want to turn my yaw damper on. I want my flight directors, and I've got roll here. I don't want roll, I want my GPS. I'm going to hit the nav button, and that will put GPS next to roll. But once I get probably on near the runway, this should go solid green. Alright, let's do our vertical speed tonight. Let's click the VS and scroll down, and this will be, let's climb at 1,000 feet a minute once I hit autopilot. Okay, that bug, so once I hit autopilot, it should lock on to 1,000 feet and climb. Okay, everything looks good. Okay, let's adjust my seat, just come down a bit. So I'm using my space bar and my up and down arrows just to make sure everything looks good. Alright, so let's take my parking brake off, and yeah, the weather's a bit crap. Alright. I've turned ATC off and all traffic just to have a quick flight. So you can see our GPS is now solid green, which is good to see. Yaw dampers on, vertical speed at 1,000 feet a minute. I'm going to turn my landing lights on before I make this turn. I'm using Track IR, so this Track IR has been out probably well over a decade now. Alright, let's just get around here. Let's come around. Alright, looking good. Righto, let's just park up here, put the brake on. I just always like to check everything, that I've got everything going. So my flaps are set one stage. I'm going to push my fuel conditioner lever to full. Okay, RPM is full. Everything's looking good. Alright, so we'll just take the parking brakes off, depress my brakes and just run these engines up a little bit. Alright, let's head to Wellington. So I've got a little bit of a tailwind. I know. Get up here. I'm just going to trim this down a little bit. That's about looking good. Alright, so what are we going to do now? I'm just going to go and hit autopilot. Autopilot is on. Flaps are up. Just going to reset my heading back. Just right click that, that will lock the heading back to your course heading. So yeah, no beautiful scenery tonight. I don't think we've even actually gone at 5,000 feet. We will not climb out of this. So what I'll do, once at around 5,000, I will just kind of cut the video for a few minutes just to stop the boredom. Now you can hit the right alt key on your keyboard and click, any screen will pop out. It's got a plus on it. Just left click your mouse button and we can maybe just scroll out a little bit on the range. If I can get right. Oh no, we do have a little bit of a clear weather there, so it's good. 3000. So we're just leaving the top of the South Island now, so we're entering Cook Strait, and Wellington is just really over about our 11 o'clock. Now if I get, let's go over to Control 6 and just hit Flight Plan, we should have some VNAV information here, which we do. So our top of descent is about 8 minutes, which probably just off the map here. So yeah, so once I get to 5,000, I will drop this the altitude to 2,000. Well, I'll drop the alt sled down to 2,000, which will continue to fly at 5,000. And then I will hit the VNAV key, so this one here down the bottom here. So now there's TOD just come in on the navigation screen, TOD. So yeah, so that's telling me I've got 6 minutes to fly this. So it's telling me that I'm coming up to my altitude now at 5,000. And look, any time from now till, I don't leave it too late, is I would just come down and just drop my altitude selector, and you'll see on the altitude tape here, just come down to 2,000. Okay, we're still flying at 5,000, as you can see, and all I'm going to do now is come in and hit that VNAV button. So we come back to our primary flight display. You can see VPath in white now, VPTH. So I know that's active, so once we reach the TOD, which will be in 4 minutes, VPath will go green, come over here, and then we'll fly that VNAV down to 2,000, where we'll intercept that ILS approach. Okay. Then you can see TOD, aircraft, around that minute to go. So our first stop will be 3,000. So we'll see once we hit the TOD, a BOD will come up, and that will be right on meter. So where's meter? So the BOD will be around here, and then a Munga down to 2,000. Alright, so we coming up on that TOD. Just got to watch airspeed once we descend. And I'm just going to check my localized 1099. So what I'm going to do now is just come up and right click that nav button there, sorry, put it at the top, and hit that arrow, the 2 arrow there, and now I've got 1099 in nav 1. Now you can put it in nav 2 if you want by just hitting that button there and hitting the double arrow, and you've got them all, but nav 2 is now active, which I don't want, so I'm just going to go back and make sure I've got nav 1 active, 1099 and 1099, just make sure that's correct. So we are descending to 3,000, and we've got BOD there just on meter, which is correct. So we'll hit BOD, and then the aircraft will take us down to 2,000. So we've got 4.5 nautical to go before we hit meter. I'm just going to hit the B key again, just make sure I do have the correct barrow, which is correct. Alright. We can hit the V key, see where we are roughly. Alright, around the 30 seconds to go. You see V path is in white at the moment, holding at 3000. And you can see the new TOD here. So once you're at the TOD, we'll be taken down to 2000 feet. So we've got 8 nautical for that. Alright, V path is now active. And down we go. We'll keep an eye on our nav radio here, 109. It should actually go solid green. Will automatically take us over to nav 1. Once that goes solid green, I'll just come down. All I have to do is hit the approach key here. So I'm just looking for that green solid 1099. We'll switch automatically over to localizer 1, and then I'll hit the approach. And then we'll see a little white GP right here, a little glide path, and we'll see a glide path symbol come along here. It'll tell us roughly where we are. Yeah, so we're just coming on to that long final. So we're just keeping an eye on everything. This is coming at that 2000 feet. This might bring this one up, we might be able to set a bit better. So, alright. Coming to that 2000. Alright, lock 1, green up here. I'm going to hit the approach button, and we've got our glide path. See a triangle, so we're going to fly into that glide path. So roughly what's telling me, I'm coming in through here. So the glide path's above me, which is good. I don't want to be flying above it. Alright, so it's just coming in, and then once that little green triangle hits that yellow line here, you'll see our altitude will drop and we'll fly down that glide path. So there it is, glide slope captured, and down we go. So yeah, heading straight to Wellington. So looking all good. So we can see we've got about 5 nautical, just under 5 nautical to go. So look, we're going to start actually pulling our airspeed back just to get ready. Still quite a bit way out, but this aircraft does pull up very well when you drop the power. So we're on the money. You can put a stage of flap down. Just watch our airspeed, and this aircraft drops pretty quick. Through second stage of flaps. About 1.7 nautical. And we will put full flaps down. Just watching my airspeed, just don't want to drop too much.
500.
Alright. So we've got a crosswind coming in about 9 o'clock, about 8 knots, 7 knots. So not too bad. Alright, let's see the runway lights. So yeah, that 300 feet would probably, would have been a go around, but look, let's get this thing down. Let's go off autopilot. Let's just pull off here, come off to the left here. Alright. Alright, we'll stick our flaps up. Alright, let's just park up here. Okay, we're gonna stick out fuel, RPM, brakes, and come on. So yeah, welcome to a wet Wellington. So look, hopefully, as I said, I'll put that flight, just turn it off. I'll put the ILS approach chart in so you can follow along. So thanks for watching.